We are back. We are back. Welcome to the plot, Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans.
We are back, Hari. Yo, we are back. We are finally back. Hari, how does it feel being alongside me once again?
Not really direct, not literally alongside, but yes, it does feel good to be back, man. Ram. First and foremost, guys, we want to make sure we get the message across. It's been a big
Yeah,
miss for us, but
yeah.
as you know,
We
we've
miss
had
you
some
guys.
challenges. Yeah, we really miss you guys. We love the show. We're back, and we're going
Yeah,
to make this a consistent show now, at least once
yeah,
a week.
yeah,
Obviously, we've had challenges, work challenges for myself. Ram has had to relocate.
yeah.
Obviously, he's had a newborn. Congratulations again, Ram. So, yep,
Thank you very, very
that
much.
comes with its own challenges as well. So, yeah, we're all settled now and ready to rumble again and bring
Yep.
alive the plot Malaysia on a regular basis. But Ram, it's been
Yep.
so freaking long. You know
Yeah,
that
bro.
I know I miss it, but I've never had the chance to do this yet, and
Mhm.
I think it's appropriate that we do
Oh
this
God.
on the show that we are back.
Bro.
Tujuh kosong, tujuh
you see,
kosong.
guys. You
Wait,
see,
wait, wait,
Liverpool
guys, wait! It's
fans,
not over. It's not over.
they are only
Mm.
going to be promoting soft drinks from now on. So they do not have any cups to drink it. So they
I
drink it
tell you
from the
what,
can
that has
directly. And
never
that's all they
tasted
can
as
do.
nice before. It's never tasted as nice before.
Oh God, Harry. Anyway, I've forgotten all about it. I don't feel anything
In a, in
about
a,
it
in a, in a
anymore.
season where we've actually had a horrible. I mean, it's been a horrible season for Liverpool, right? In general, I mean, this will never be forgotten, guys. 7 up will never be
Yes,
forgotten.
it will never
It
be
lives
forgotten.
here for the history books, and we
It will
don't care
never be
about anything
forgotten.
else.
It will never be forgotten. But I believe that soon the day will come where we will score eight past you guys, and then we will create new history. I'm waiting for the day, and I'm sure it's gonna
You know
come
what? You know what?
in my lifetime.
We should just forget talking about 7-0. People just talking about 7-0. Even the last 3 or 4 games,
Yeah.
what's been the score? I'm trying to think. Last year, we beat you. Was it 5-0 at Old Trafford and 4-0 at Anfield? 9-0.
Yes. Yes.
9-0 plus 7-0 now. I just add that up, man. We forget, even if you beat us by
It's
8 goals,
okay.
we'll
It's
never
okay. It's
top
okay.
what we have
We
done to you in the
we
last two
beat you
seasons.
guys. We beat you guys as well at Old Trafford. So that for us, okay, means something. Okay, we are
We're
growing.
back,
Something
Simba.
is
We're
happening.
back.
Oh,
And it's
hi Simba.
and
Hi. Hello. Welcome.
And
Welcome.
that's
Welcome.
for
Yes.
any new viewer. This is for you guys. It's here to stay. But
Enjoy the
yeah, I mean,
7 Up, Hurry. That's all you're gonna enjoy this season, bro. Let me
yeah.
tell you,
But
that's all you're
I'll
gonna
take that.
enjoy.
I'll
I will
absolutely
give you
take that. We've won the Premier League over the last few seasons. We've won the Champions League. We're having a torrid season. But you know what? Even when we're having a torrid season, we still give our fans some things to cheer about. And it's all about the 7 Up.
fair enough,
So
fair enough. And I can say for United fans as well, we are actually on third place, which is good for us this season. We are rebuilding. That sounds good. I'm very happy for the team. One blip doesn't make a difference. It doesn't change our season.
it does.
All right, we are
This
there.
goes into the history books.
It goes into the history books, but we are up there. We are up there, 8 points ahead. You guys, that means a lot. That means a lot more.
Yeah,
So
take
cheers.
take a trophy for coming third, lah. Take a trophy for coming third, lah. I know, it
Take
doesn't
a
matter.
trophy for 7 Up, bro. Anyway,
Bro,
moving on, moving on.
that's going in the history books.
Moving
That's the difference.
on.
Okay, moving on indeed, guys. Moving on indeed. Before we get to Canada, we're going to talk. Today's show is going to be a focus on. It's our comeback show, so it's going to be a half an hour, 40-minute show. We're going to talk about basically the final stretch, the Premier League. We're entering the final stretch. We're going to the international break next weekend, and then it's the last 10 games
A well-deserved
of
break, huh?
the. Well,
Well-deserved
is
break,
it
Hari,
10
I
games
think.
or 11 games, 10, 11, 12 games of the season? So
Yeah, yeah.
it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy final stretch. Liverpool's not involved in too much in the title front. My word, it's a crazy title race. It's a mad season in the top four race. It's crazy in terms of relegation battles. So we're going to talk a little bit about all. And we want your comments coming in, guys. Guys, please leave your comments. Come, we want an interactive session. Please hit the
Yeah.
like button as well. The more likes we get, the more consistent we become with the show as well. So we really appreciate that. Now, I think the only way to start is with the Premier League table itself.
Yep.
Here you go. It's for everyone to see. Arsenal running away pretty much with it, but not really running away with it. But they're top of the table on fire. 5 wins out of five
Mm,
the last five
yep.
games. Getting a lot of late winners as well. It's a sign of champions not playing well and getting the results. Man
Mm,
City are tailing them. United are out of the title race, I think, but they're in third, comfortable. Tottenham, well, we'll come to them and Mr. Antonio Conte very soon. Uh,
yep.
Newcastle are having a fabulous season, man.
Yeah.
Newcastle fans out there, please drop us a comment. We would like to hear your thoughts. But you guys are having a fantastic season under a manager that I really, really respect. He's a top
Anyhow.
manager, Eddie Howe.
Mm,
Liverpool, as we can say, we're struggling. It's still in
mm,
sixth place. Got Brighton, who are flying literally in seventh
mhm.
with a game in hand on Liverpool as well.
Oh, that's
Uh,
brilliant. Brighton with a game
yeah,
in hand. That's brilliant.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and they're doing really well under Roberto De
Yep.
Zerbi, man. What a well-run club they are. They lose Graham Potter. They bring in a manager who's even better. Then you got
Mm,
Brentford, Fulham, and a lot. And then the relegation battle. What's very very interesting, right? From 12th
cool.
place to 20th place, there are
Hmm.
9 clubs that are involved in the relegation battle with 11 games to go, which
Yep.
is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. From Crystal
Yep.
Palace downwards, every one of them is basically about 3 or 4 points from the last spot.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's mad, man. So basically, if you're 12th, 1 or 2 bad results, and you could be bottom of the table or in the bottom three.
Yep.
That's crazy, man. But that's what the relegation battle looks like. I think it's probably going to be the most interesting battle. But yeah, so that's how we're entering the final stretch, guys. Keshav, yes, we're back. Thanks for
Hi,
always supporting
Keshav.
us. Thanks for always supporting us, my friend. So yeah, it's going to be a crazy last sprint, I would say, to the finish. But I think there's nowhere else to start with Mr. Antonio Conte and Spurs.
What a
We'll get
guy.
in. Really, what a guy! What an Italian guy with a strong Italian accent. He sits in a press conference yesterday.
Unacceptable. This is unacceptable.
Acceptable. Sits in a press conference yesterday. Lets loose with his Italian accent, full of passion, full of aggression and passion. But yeah, I mean the rant was crazy, guys. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's fantastic. Ram, the gist of it, I think you have seen it. The gist of what he says is basically with a lot of passion. I'm going to try and do it as well I can. You can add the Italian accent to it, but he says it's unacceptable. Our
It's
performance is
unacceptable.
unacceptable. This club has always blamed the managers. We've got top managers in the bench, always blame the managers, always the club, but nothing about the players. Managers just keep getting sacked and the players don't take responsibility. He called his players selfish. He said they
Yep.
only play for themselves, don't play
They
for each
can't play under
other.
pressure. They can't play
Yeah,
under
can't
pressure,
play under
apparently.
pressure. Not winners, losers mentality. And he's also said that from last season to this season, they've gotten worse as well. And he said, I can't defend it anymore. I've been trying to defend it, cover
Correct.
it up, and I've decided to let loose. That's just what he said. He's basically said the club, they don't have a winning mentality under the ownership, haven't won for 20 odd years. So, yeah, he basically
He
let
said
loose, man.
he said he wants to see the fire in a team, and he doesn't see that fire yet. Since the time he took over, he also
Yep.
said that if there's any other managers going to come after him, if he was sacked or whatever it is, they won't change the situation. It's still going to be the same. Tottenham will always be in this state of time. So all you Spurs fan out there, don't get us wrong. We're not trying to put your team down. We just want to get some
This is
insights
this
from
is
you.
basically we're just trying to say what Antonio
Yeah,
Conte says. So this is
yeah,
what he says.
exactly. So do you
And
guys agree? What you guys
so
have
I
in
mean,
mind? This is
basically the word that we associate Spurs with, right? Spursy. They're very Spursy. It's kind of what
yeah.
he's trying to say, right? They're so
Yep.
inconsistent. They will win a big
Mhm.
game, lose a poor game against the
And
bottom side.
and Harry, you know what's
And
interesting?
yesterday's
Yeah.
game, they were 3-1 up against the bottom club and ended up
Yeah.
drawing the game. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting, Harry? He said something that really caught raised my eyebrows a little bit, if you like. Until now, I try to hide the
Yes.
situation because I repeat, I don't want to see what I have seen today because this is unacceptable and also unacceptable for the fans.
Yes. Yes. He said that as well. He said that. Oh, that's a great Italian accent, but that's
Yeah,
exactly what he said. Unacceptable for the fans is what Mr. Antonio
yeah,
Conte says. So, guys, let us know
absolutely.
what you think about it. But Ram, I'm going to come to you, man.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts about Antonio Conte's rant? Is he right? Is he wrong? Should he have done it? Should he not have done it?
Well, I would say yes and no, Hari, but I do have my reservations on this because I know he has done a really good job when he first came into the club, and I think he has brought in some really good players. I thought his signings, wow, I mean, spent a lot of money in terms of bringing all those players as well. But I think his rent is probably should have been done much earlier, not now. When you have 10, 12 games to go in the season, this is the time that you're going to choose to put down your players and say all this. I think for me that is unacceptable. Okay, but in my opinion, for a manager to say this right now, it shows that he's trying to get out. More than he
I
wanting
think
to
I think
be
that's
in the
what
club.
everyone is saying, right? He's trying to get the
Yeah,
sack. He's
yeah,
trying
he's
to
trying
get
to
the
get a
sack.
sack. He wants the easy way out. He wants the plug to be pulled on him so that he can actually go and venture elsewhere. So I mean, this is just me thinking based on what he said.
You see, you see,
Uh, you
you see.
know,
I would kind of agree to what you said to a certain extent,
yeah,
but after I got a better understanding of the situation, but basically just for viewers' knowledge as well, Antonio Conte's contract finishes at the end of the season anyway,
yeah, yeah.
so he
That's
doesn't
it.
have a contract after that. So he was going to go at
Mm,
the end of the season. So
mm,
my point of view is, if he really wants the sack, he's not really going to get paid off much now.
yeah,
As well, he's not going to break off a contract in any way, right? Because it's only like 10, 12 games to go in the season. Uh, I don't know if he's actually doing it because he wants a sack, or if he's just lost it. And when I say lost it, means he's such a passionate guy. He's a winner. He's always won wherever he's gone. And I
mm,
almost feel as if he's coming out now to say, listen, enough is enough. I'm just going to tell you guys what it is. I'm leaving the club. So it's not. I'm not got nothing to lose here. I'm going to leave anyway. But let me
mm,
just tell you what the problem is with this club. You've got the players don't have a togetherness. They don't fight. They're not winners. They're very selfish players. And I feel he's doing it out of passion almost, because he's a winner. And when
mm.
winners, wherever he's gone, he's won. When a winner doesn't win, he's not winning now, and his players are consistently letting him down. Uh, then yeah, I think there's a sense of pride as well. That's
Do
that's
you
you know that's
do you
into
think
that. So I
Antonio?
think I think he's just coming out and being extremely honest, which I think Spurs fans, I
Would
feel
appreciate
like
that?
quite happy. Yeah, I think they're quite happy
Mm,
to hear people actually
mm,
finally call out the club, the ownership, the players.
mhm. Would
Because you got to remember, they had Pochettino, they had Mourinho. It's not like they
Yeah,
had
they're good
bad managers.
managers.
They've
Good
had good
good managers.
managers,
Yeah,
but they've always failed. So he probably has a
I
very
think.
valid point, and he's come out. Just I think he's lost. He's just lost it. He's very passionate. He
I
can't
I
cover
think
up
Harry.
anymore, and he's just come out blasting the players. The one thing I will add is,
Yeah.
I still don't think he should have thrown the whole team under the bus, because there's still
Yeah, but
10,
he took
11
he took
games to go.
inspiration. He took inspiration from Ronaldo, I believe.
Yeah,
After what Ronaldo did, for a
yeah.
good reason. I know he has his intentions, but
And he got
I
and
think
he
he
got the
took
sack, right,
inspiration.
Ronaldo. So Ronaldo got the sack, right? So
And things
yeah,
change. Things change after that for the better. So this could happen that way too. So never know.
I mean, I think the Ronaldo one, I kind of disagree. I think that was because the things changed because Ronaldo left. He was the one who was being a difficult bad apple, I think, in there. So, but yeah, I mean, he's got a point, like I said, and I think like he just lost. He just wanted to come out and express himself, and he has lost faith with the players. But I just feel he shouldn't have thrown his players in the bus. I think feel when you throw your players under the bus like that, you lose the
They won't
dressing
play
room.
for you anymore.
They won't play. They know he's going at the end of the season, so why should they play for him anymore? As well, especially since he's called them out so badly. And I think they've still got a great chance of making the Champions League. It does affect that chance now. So I don't know why he did that. The other thing is, I think he's got to take responsibility as well. It's not
Of
completely
course.
the player's fault, yes, but he's got to also shoulder some responsibility, because he's managed this club for 2 years, and he's
It's all
actually
his
said
players.
he spent about 250 million pounds, I think, a lot of new
Yep.
players are his players, and not just that, um, he's also said that this year has been worse than last year. Well, you
Yep.
have been managing the club last year and this year, so how can it get worse under your care? Which is what is difficult to understand as well. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man, but this all doesn't sit well, and I don't think it's going to end up well for Spurs.
Now, well, as a manager, like you said, he shouldn't have gone and thrown his players under the bus. That's for sure. Because now the players, will not play for him, and of course, they might deter their chances of actually making it to Europe. Just to prove a point. And from bad to worse, that is not something Spurs fans would want, and not any team would want. So, my only hope is, of course, they see out the rest of the season. Play their best, just to prove a point. Because if Antonio Conte is leaving anyway, it is time for the players to prove a point to him and say that, hey, you can leave, but we are going to play some attractive football. And maybe that could be a blessing in disguise, or you never know. it could turn both ways. It could
No,
be
I,
good,
I
it could be bad. So
I
let's
agree.
see.
Maybe he's calling out things because it's going to be good for Spurs after he leaves, because they probably now understand, and they've been put in the spotlight. So maybe the ownership, the players start taking account, and under the next manager things improves. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to end well for Mr. Antonio Conte.
Yep, absolutely.
Normally, when you go after the board like that, it only ends in one way, lah. You will get the sack.
For sure.
Anyways, moving on from Mr. Antonio Conte.
Hmm.
Let's talk about this
Okay.
round. Who's
Arsenal.
winning? Who's winning this title?
Arsenal, Arsenal, without a shadow of a doubt. I see Arsenal winning this because now they can fully focus on the Premier League. They're out of Europe, so they have time to play all those games they have to play 12, 10, 12 games, whatever games they have. So I see them running away with it because they are showing signs of a true championship team because they are scoring goals at the last minute. Nicking wins. Even though they're not playing so well sometimes. They have all it's their title to lose, Harry, basically. That's what I'm going to say. It's Arsenal's title to lose. What do you think?
Interesting. I actually, I've said it all along that I think City is going to win, but more and more, I'm kind of saying I'm feeling that Arsenal is going to win it now because things seem to be just going for them. They seem
And
to
they
be
should.
getting this. They seem to be getting these last minute wins. They
Yeah.
seem to be getting these wins against Aston Villa coming back, and also it looks like things are falling for them. Which
Yeah.
normally is like when the luck goes for you, then you get the feeling that you're going to win it. And they're playing the best football. There's no doubt they're playing the best
They are.
football in the
They
league,
are.
right?
Yep.
Under Mr. Arteta, I think they've spent a lot of money. People don't talk about it so much, but they've actually spent a
But the
lot of money
players,
the
but
last.
the players they have got are just brilliant. I don't know how Arteta is scouting them, getting those kind of players, and they're really
Hmm.
performing really
But
well
you know
under this
what?
team.
They've actually spent
Brilliant.
a lot of money. If you look at
Yeah.
their spending in the last 2 or 3 years, it's actually one of the highest in the league in terms of net spend. So they've spent a
Yeah.
lot of money. They've got a good side. They've got a very young side as well, which means that
Yeah.
it's going to be
Can
like a
last.
team. Yeah, a team that's going to be probably dominating for 3, 4, 5 years. Uh,
Yeah.
however,
And
I'm still going to stick my neck out here and say that City is going to nick the title. Um,
okay. Come
I,
on, man.
I mean, like Simba says, we are all sick and tired of City winning the title.
Yeah,
Um,
same here, man. Sick of it. Go
yeah,
Arsenal.
true,
you know.
true. However, I genuinely still feel that City will nick it at the end. We Liverpool fans have had to go through this before, where we're leading City with games to go. We feel everything's going for us. Even under Gerrard, you remember the Gerrard slip and all that. Uh, but they're just a machine, man, and they have the know-how of closing out a league campaign. Whereas Arsenal is the first time they've had to go through this. This team has had to go through this
But
pressure, which is why I feel going into the last 10 games of the season, they will have situations to face with. Now, I'll give you an issue where I think they might have a situation round. One is, I mean, if you heard, William Saliba has now caught an injury. We don't know how
yeah,
bad it is. He may be back soon, but they have not had um, they have not had uh, any major injuries this season, Arsenal. They've
yeah,
basically had a full squad to call on, apart from Gabriel Jesus.
yeah,
Everyone else has been basically fit majority of the time.
yeah.
Now, how do they deal with an injury, for example, to a key player like Odegaard or Bukayo
Mm,
Saka or William
mhm.
Saliba in defense? One of the key players, or Granit Xhaka, if one of these big players, two of these big players, pick up an injury, miss 2 or 3 games in the last 10 games,
Mm.
how does that turn out for them? I think
I
that's where it's going to be. That's where I just feel the pressure might get to them. It's a young team. Mikel Arteta is inexperienced.
no,
He
Hari,
reminds me of he
yeah,
reminds me a little bit of Brendan Rodgers, man. He was inexperienced when he was managing that Liverpool team going for the title.
uh,
And
I
and
think I think it's gonna be
I
different.
just feel when you get into the last 5 games of the season, the pressure mounts. And
Okay,
an experienced side might have the know-how of getting the better of you.
so the pressure mounts. I agree with you. But there's 10 games or 12 games left for Arsenal. I believe they're out of Europe. Okay, so which means that they do have the time to actually recuperate. While waiting for the remaining games to actually continue after the international break. Now, hoping, of course, in the international break, no one gets injured. That is a different story. But I think, apologies for my screen because I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Just it's just some effects. So anyway, you know,
Yeah,
so I just wanted to share that, for Arsenal, I feel they are in a momentum right now. So like you said, everything will happen for them. It is working for them. So I don't think it's going to be a major issue, because they are a team that can score goals. They are a team that can really play good football. And I think they're a really, really young team. So they can catch a lot of teams off guard as well. So I think one or two players getting injured is not going to be a major problem, especially when you have
the
10 more
other thing I
games
would
left.
say, like I said, City have the know-how, and not just that, they seem to be getting into form at the key part of the season. Man, Erling Haaland just scored a hat trick yesterday. Scored 5 goals in the Champions League in a match. They're scoring for fun. They seem to be getting into gear, which is what they normally do, right? At the end of the season, they get into gear, and then they don't lose any games. Now, Liverpool could be the kingmaker here, because Liverpool are playing City next at the Etihad, and then 2 games after that they are playing Arsenal, or a week after they're playing Arsenal at Anfield. So they could be the kingmakers in all this. Arsenal still have to play City. They're 5 points ahead of City, but they have to play City at the Etihad still. So which means they could end up losing that.
Mm.
They still have to play Liverpool away. They still have to play Newcastle, and I think they might still have to play Chelsea as well. I'm not sure. Uh, so they've still got some tough games coming up, Arsenal as well. Yeah, and like I said, it's key, man. I don't know about the injuries. It's going to be key. If any key player, one of these key, Bukayo Saka gets injured, for example, uh, and then I think
Yeah,
they
I'm
could
here. I'm
have,
here.
then I think they could have a little bit of a of a problem. So yeah, so I think, like I said, I mean, more and more I feel Arsenal is going to win it, but I'm still going to stick my neck out and say City will win it, just purely because we have, as Liverpool fans, have had the experience of this juggernaut called City, this machine called City, that chases you and runs you into the ground at the end of the season. So, and they've got a machine up front as well, right, in Erling Haaland. So that's why I think City might pip them to the title. I'm going to say one more thing. Ram, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay,
My
okay.
camera is, yeah, screwed up. Sorry about
No
that.
problem. So the other thing I'm going to say is, this again reminds me a lot of the Gerrard season when we were going for the title. With just 3 games to go, or 4 games to go, if you remember, we played City at Anfield and we beat them
Yeah,
with a Coutinho goal. And
yeah.
then obviously Gerrard, the whole stadium, all Liverpool fans believed, right? They said, "This, we're not letting this slip. We're going. Let's go again." Uh,
Mm.
but in that City game, something very important happened, which actually I believe till today, and if you ask a lot of genuine Liverpool fans, they will tell you as well, it is what cost us the league that year. Jordan Henderson was sent off in that game at the end of that game for a second yellow
Mm-hmm.
card.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a second yellow card. And he missed the final games of the season, the final 3 games of the season for Liverpool. So I think it was a straight rate maybe then. Um, and that, in my opinion, is what screwed our season up and made us lose the title, because Jordan Henderson was key in that Liverpool side. He was the legs for Gerrard in midfield. Gerrard used to dictate the tempo in the middle of the park, but Jordan Henderson was the legs. He had all the
Mm-hmm.
energy. He was the man pressing. He was the man doing Gerrard's leg work in midfield. And the moment we lost him is when I feel we lost that title. So
Mm-hmm.
just to show you the importance of one key player for Arsenal, that could be Bukayo Saka, who's been on fire this year. It could be Granit Xhaka. It could be William Saliba, who's been magnificent. If they lose one or two of these key players going into the final 3 or 4 games of the season, how do they deal with that? That's my big question. So we'll only find out
Do you think
later part of the
City has
season.
been? Do you think City has been very impressive as last few seasons? I
No,
mean, this season.
no, but they are a machine.
Absolutely.
And
That
no,
that is
they're a
why.
machine. No, but they're a machine. We've had this with City, by the way.
Yeah.
So we're speaking from experience. We have fought the City team for titles, where
Mm.
during a spell of games for 3 or 4 months, we have been the better team in the league. We've been the best team in the league, playing the best football. City just grind out results in some way or the other. And then the last 10 games of the season, they get into gear and they just win every bloody game there is to win. And I think they have not been on form. They've been poor. But if you
Yeah.
realize, they're just clicking into gear now. They beat Leipzig
See.
7-0 with Erling Haaland scoring 5. They scored,
Mm.
I don't know how many goals was it yesterday they scored, and in
Six.
the FA Cup, and Erling
Six
Haaland scored
goals.
3 again.
6-0.
I
Yeah.
just feel
Yeah.
they're getting into their stride, which is what they
Mm.
always do, and that's where my fear comes for Arsenal. Sorry, Arsenal fans,
Okay.
I would like you guys to win it, but I just fancy City.
Okay. That's
And
good. That's good
Simba
that you
puts it
have.
correctly, right? They're not exceptional. They're just relentless with a machine up front.
Okay, that's what your take is, Hari. My take, I still think Arsenal will run away with this. I think it will go down to the final day. I think it will happen. Where you have probably 1 point in it or 2 points in it. I think it's going to be a very interesting finish to the season. But I still think Arsenal will take it this
Do you
time.
know who they're playing
Let's
on the
see.
final day of the season? Both teams.
Okay, let's see. Man City is playing Brentford away.
Okay.
Let me just check for Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal fixtures momentarily. Commercial break.
No, no problem. Yep, yep, yep. Guys, if you guys know, let
So
drop us in the comments. Drop us a comment as well.
Arsenal is playing with Wolves at home.
Oh wow. So yeah. So I mean, because the final game of the season, then yeah, Arsenal probably have the edge, right? They've got an easier game, you would think, at home. But I think in the remaining fixtures, Arsenal have got the tougher fixtures coming up, right? They've got Liverpool at Anfield, they've got City away, they've got both these sides away, they've got Newcastle. I think Newcastle as well might be away. I'm not sure. I think Newcastle away as well.
Yeah, they've got
Uh,
Newcastle away. Yes, correct. Mhm.
Liverpool, Newcastle, Man City away. I think they've got Chelsea maybe at home. Yeah, they've got some tough games coming up as well, Arsenal. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fascinating, and it's going to be interesting to see how long William Saliba is out for. Because I think he's a key player for them in defense. Man, he's been absolutely magnificent. Uh,
Yep.
so anyway, guys, leave us your thoughts. Let us know in the comments. Who do you think is going to win the league? I say City. Ram says Arsenal.
I say Arsenal. Yeah.
It's anyone's, man. Anyone could pick this up.
Yeah,
Moving
but I
on. The
still feel
top.
this. Yeah, go on.
Go ahead, Ram.
I still think it's Arsenal's title to lose.
Yep. No, I think it is Arsenal's title lose. They are ahead, right, by 5 points. So, but yeah, I just fancy City to pick it up. What about the top four race, Ram? So I think the first two spots are confirmed. Man's United, many people will say confirmed. I'm not so sure yet. They've got Casemiro out, isn't it, for the next 4 games as well? Um,
Yeah, but it is confirmed they are going to be in top four for sure, and
no,
you know it,
okay.
Harry. You
Yeah,
know it.
yeah, I mean, they're out. They got Casemiro out for 4 games, by the way. So it's not done and dusted, I think. And he's a key player for them. But yeah, they've got a big lead, right? How many points do you have lead Spurs? I think you only lead Spurs by like 3 points, right? 2 or 3 points.
I think we still got a few games in hand, Harry.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think I think we are still in a good position to keep that spot.
Okay. So give us who do you think is going to be your top four then, Ram?
I think
From 1 to 4.
Arsenal. Okay,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Man City, United, and Newcastle.
Oh, interesting. You're going for Newcastle, huh?
I
All
really
right.
think Newcastle is a team, something, man. This season, they are a team. I mean, I think they're great. What they've done the last 2 games, they deserve it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm going with City, Arsenal, United. I think will finish third, and I just still feel Liverpool will squeeze in at fourth
Oh my
spot.
God, bro! You.
I'm not
Okay,
giving
okay,
up on
okay.
this Liverpool
Fine,
side.
fine.
As a Liverpool fan, I can't give up on them. As horrible a season as they've had, I can't give up on them.
Wait,
And I
wait.
think they will still get that fourth spot. Well, they're only, I think is it 6? They're 7 points behind Spurs with 2 games in hand.
Look, Hari, Liverpool has crazy amount of games coming up in April, man. They're away at City, they are home to Arsenal, and then probably have yeah, and then, no, they are away at City, then they have a away game at Chelsea, and
Hmm.
then Arsenal, and then Leeds United,
Hmm.
Nottingham Forest, and then West Ham again. So I feel the next 2 or 3 games for Liverpool is going to be very crucial, and that will
I
determine.
actually, you know what, that's what Jurgen Klopp has said, but I actually don't think that's the case. And I'll tell you why, because I think we're only, I don't know, let's look at the table again, Ram, but um, I think we're only like 6 points or 7 points behind Spurs. Yeah, we're seven
Okay.
points behind Spurs with 2 games in hand, which
Okay,
means
yeah,
if
with
we
two
win
games in hand.
2 games in hand, so which means it's not a big gap at all. We are about 5 points behind Newcastle, which is a big gap, you could say, but we still
But
have to.
I
But we
but I really think New Spurs they have a better run of games. The next at least the next 3 games or so
No,
they
but
have.
that's why I disagree. I'll tell you why. Let me get to
Mm,
that very quickly. I get where you're coming from. That's what Jurgen Klopp has
mm,
said as well. But I disagree. Uh,
mm.
and Newcastle still have to play Spurs. I know in there they still have to play Arsenal, so they've got some tough games coming up as well. Um, and Newcastle are one of those teams. They're really good side under Eddie Howe. I love watching them, but they don't have a big squad yet. And
Mm.
one injury when Bruno Gomes was out recently, they ended up losing a few games or drawing a few
Yeah.
games. If they lose a key player like Bruno Gomes or Alexander Isak up front, they're nowhere close to being the same side because they don't have the squad depth, right? So that's
Mm.
where I feel, we still. I mean, I still fancy us against Newcastle to get over them. Uh, Now, in terms of our upcoming games, you're right. We've got Man City away, and then we've got Chelsea away and Arsenal at home. There are two things to this. Number one, Liverpool this year have not had a problem against the big sides. They've actually been good against the big sides. Where they have had problems is against the weaker teams. Away from home,
Okay.
not at home, away from home. At home, our form is brilliant actually. We're in the top four on our home form. Is the away form that's bad, right? Uh, and as I said, we've got good. We played well against the big sides. We beat City at home. We beat United. I mean, let me show you again. We beat United at home. Uh,
I'll show you my middle
we
finger without
we
the camera, bro.
we
There
we,
you
we
go.
just we just ended up losing to Arsenal 3-2 away from home in a good game. We beat Newcastle away from home. We beat Spurs away from home. So we've actually had a good record against the big sides. I think they get fired up for the big games as well. So, which is why I think we will actually surprise people and get a few points out of these games against Arsenal, Man City, and Chelsea. Uh, the other thing is, once we clear these three games, going into the last, so let's say we have 12 games to go. Once we clear these three games, the last 9 games of the season, we have got an easier run of fixtures than the other teams because they will still have to play a
But
lot of
you
these sides.
yourself said that Liverpool don't do so well against the lower teams.
Exactly, but
So
we're playing a lot of these teams, I think, at home, and my hope is that our form. Hopefully, I'm just praying here again. It may not because the whole season has been crap. My hope is that our form away from home improves going into April against these sides because we have got Thiago coming back in the next 2 weeks. I think we have finally got Luis Diaz coming back after the international break, and he has been a big miss for us for 5 months. So, which is why I'm quietly confident that we can still sneak into fourth. It's going to be difficult because we're so damn inconsistent and we've been poor all year, but I'm still
uh,
confident that we might be
I'll
able to
I'll
sneak in.
be I'll be extremely happy if Liverpool just stay outside the top four. You know,
Yeah, I know you
I'll
will.
be
I know you.
I'll be
I know
happy.
you will, but I think we might still sneak in, which is why I'm going for Liverpool to finish
Well,
in the top four.
Hari, there you go. Hari has very high hopes for Liverpool in the top four. What do you guys think? Be
Yeah, guys,
realistic.
drop us
You know,
drop us your comments. Tell us what you think, man. Tell us what you
and
think is
don't be
wrong
too
with.
optimistic, you Liverpool fans out there. Don't be too optimistic.
No,
Be
and
realistic.
tell us what you think is wrong with Liverpool, guys. We'll have another separate show on this to talk about Liverpool and what's caused all the problems this year. But give us your thoughts. In my opinion, I'm just going to give my thoughts, and then you guys can share in the comments as well. But my opinion, it's been poor management from the owners in terms of not releasing funds to Jurgen Klopp for a number of years. We haven't. We haven't refreshed the squad in midfield for 3 or 4 years already. I think Thiago was our last midfield buy, which was about 3 or 4 years ago. Uh, we have not replaced key players in midfield. So I think the biggest issues we've had are in midfield, and we haven't freshened up the squad in certain positions, like even in the centre back position. So I think the squad is aging in midfield, not everywhere else, but in midfield. So basically, in midfield, the problem we have is we've got too many old players and we've got too many young players. We don't have the sweet spot, the people in the middle, the legs in the middle, right? The 24, 25-year-old players. So I think that's been our biggest issue this year. And I'm just hoping that with the right buys in the summer, we'll be back again going for the top prizes. So that's where I think we're faulted. I think some of the blame has to lie on Jurgen Klopp as well. I think tactically we haven't been flexible enough this year to deal with the injuries we have had. I think we have had the most injuries this year amongst all the top side. I mean, all the sides in the Premier League. So our players have missed in total. Our injured players in total have missed something like about a 168 or 170 games. And I think the next lowest is 120 or 100 games. So basically, compared to the second ranked team in terms of injuries, we've had like 40 plus games more or 50 plus games more missed through injured players. And that's crazy. It tells you how many more injuries and players we've had missing this year compared to even the second place team. in this list. So yeah, so I think that's been a key issue as well, and I think that needs to be addressed in the summer. How do we avoid injuries? How do we improve our medical team as well? I think we have lost Ram for a bit, guys. So yeah, I think that's what we need. Simba, I agree with you on this. We definitely need. I think we need. I mean, you're saying four midfielders. I think we. I mean, I think if we do three midfielders, I don't think we're going to get four, but I think if we do three midfielders, three top class midfielders, that would be good. We definitely need one quality centre back to partner with either Van Dijk or Konate, a top class centre back, like a ready made centre back, not a prospect. And then we definitely need. I think we also need a right back because I really think Trent Alexander-Arnold needs some competition. I think he's brilliant going forward, but I think he's had too many issues defensively and he needs some competition now, which is why I would go out and get a really good centre back as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Three midfielders, a centre back, and hopefully a right back backup as well, a quality one to support and give competition to Mr. Trent Alexander-Arnold. All right, while we're trying to get Ram back in again, guys, let's quickly go into, let's quickly talk about relegation. The relegation battle as we wrap up the show for today. Relegation, I mean, guys, we're just going to go and... I mean, I like your choices here, Simba, so I'm going to address this quickly. I like your choices here. I mean, yeah, Bellingham. If we get Bellingham, it'll be brilliant, but I don't think we're going to be able to get him. I really doubt it now. If we don't get Champions League, especially because Madrid are also in for him, if we get Champions League, then I'm hopeful we can get Bellingham. Yeah, Anguissa is a brilliant player for Napoli, and so is Declan Rice. But I actually like Mason Mount. I think there are rumors we might be in for Mason Mount. I quite like Mason Mount as a number 8, so I would like Mason Mount. I think Declan Rice is a bit overrated, so I'm not really keen on Declan Rice, but I would like a really high-quality defensive midfielder. So I don't know who else is out there in the market, but a really top-quality defensive midfielder would be nice.
Hi, I'm back. Well. Sorry. Apologies.
No worries, Ron. So yeah, I mean, we've also been linked with Matthias Nunez, of course, but I think Mason Mount, Bellingham. We've also had recent links, right? If you remember, Jose Enrique, I think, let it leak a few days ago that we are close to agreeing a deal for Ryan Gravenberch, the Bayern Munich Dutch midfielder, right? 20-year-old quality player. So if you get him, I think him, Mason Mount, and Bellingham, and maybe a defensive midfielder. But yeah, I mean, we definitely need a holding midfielder to give competition to Fabinho and replace Fabinho, and then Mason Mount, hopefully Bellingham. If we don't get Bellingham, then I would also be keen on Ryan Gravenberch. Go ahead, Ron.
I don't think Bellingham or Rice will come into Liverpool. I doubt it. I doubt it.
I'm not a big fan of Declan Rice, by the way. So I think he's a bit overrated for the price. But Bellingham, I really like. And yeah, I mean, Bellingham, if we don't get Champions League, I think we've got no chance. If we get Champions League, though, I still fancy him because apparently his parents are really keen on Liverpool. And they have a big say in his decision making. And apparently he's a big fan of Jurgen Klopp. So Jurgen Klopp is still a big draw for a lot of players. Quickly, guys. So as we wrap things up, let's talk about the relegation battle really quickly, Ram. As I was talking to you off air, there are about 7 or 8 teams in this relegation fight. It's the craziest relegation fight I've seen going into the final stretch. Down from Crystal Palace, right, in 12th place, who are on 27 points and have just sacked Patrick Vieira. They're on 27 points. The bottom club, Southampton, is on 23 points. So it's a 4-point gap between number 12 and number 20. So, Ram, put your neck on the line. Let's keep this short. Let's keep this sweet. Put your neck on the line and pick 3 teams here that are going down.
I would say Everton, Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth.
Everton, Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth. Wow. Okay. I like the fact that Everton is going down as a Liverpool fan. So, yeah. And you know what? I'm going to put them down as well. As a Liverpool fan, it'd be awesome to have Everton down. So, I'm going to say Everton. I'm actually going to say Leicester City.
Really? Yep. Really, Harry?
Yes. I'm going to say Leicester City, believe it or not. And I'm going to say, this is so tricky. So I'm going to say Everton. I'm going to say Leicester City, and I'm going to say Southampton.
Okay.
Okay, I know it's very controversial here, guys, but I've gone with this because I've seen Leeds. I think are picking up a bit of form. They have a decent side. Uh,
Hmm.
they've got a decent manager in. Wolves have got a really good manager in Laportogi in who will get them out. I think they've got good attack, good midfielders. I think Crystal Palace. I mean, they're in really bad form, by the way. Crystal Palace could be one dragged into it, but I just think with
Hmm.
Wilfred Zaha back, maybe under a new manager, they may get a bit of a bounce.
I think losing
Uh,
a manager right now is so difficult for them because
mm.
it's just at the wrong time. I mean, 11 more games to go, you lose your manager, and now probably interim will come in. It's not going to solve their problem. So yeah, you
No,
could
but
be right. It
they
could
normally
be
get
dragged into
a
it.
bit of a bounce. Teams get a bit of a bounce, so I don't know. But if they have Zaha come back, Eze, they've got quite a bit of talent in that team. So I don't know, man. It could be them. Everton, I think actually, I genuinely think Everton is going to be safe. But just as a Liverpool fan, I want them down, which is why I'm saying they're down. Because I think under Sean Dyche, they're picking up form. They've got a win
Mm.
recently. They've had two draws recently. They drew yesterday away at Chelsea with a last-minute goal. So they've
Yeah,
got real good fighting spirit in them already. So I actually think they will escape, but it'd be nice to see them go down. I've picked Leicester because look at that form. In the last
yeah.
5 games, they've had 4 defeats and a draw. Brendan Rodgers doesn't seem to be able to get any tune out of them anymore. They have not been able to
Question,
purchase players. Jamie Vardy is over. I mean, his career is done. He's too old now. They
question,
just
Hari.
don't seem to be picking up, and they don't seem to have any fight. I think the other teams down there, they seem like they have fight. With Leicester, I think they're just too tiki taka, too beautiful. They don't seem to have the fight, which is why
I
I
think
fear for them.
I have a question, Harry. I mean, Crystal Palace, they sacked Patrick Vieira with such a bad run of form. Why isn't Leicester doing anything about Brendan Rodgers? I mean,
I think it's
why are
because
they
of
still
his.
keeping him?
I think it's just because of his track record, man. He's done well for them in 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and I think they just want to give him a shot at getting them safe, right?
And then
Because
get relegated, and then what
no,
happens?
but it's. I mean,
you
is
know,
it really his fault as well? Because the board haven't backed him in the summer. In the last 2 or 3 windows, they have not bought any players because they have been losing money as a company, the ownership. So and they're trying to balance
bad
the book.
business,
So yeah, I
bad
mean they've been
business.
trying to balance the book. So I
Mhm.
don't know if it's completely his fault as well. He hasn't had the players to work with. But I just feel because of the way Brendan Rodgers plays, he's always been a tiki taka kind of manager, attractive football, and
But
I
I tell
just
you what,
feel,
Harry. But I tell you
and
what, if
I
Leicester
just feel
City,
that
yeah,
I
go
just
on.
feel that very quickly. I just feel that when you're fighting at the bottom there, it's a dog fight, and you've got to have the fight, the aggression, which is what I don't think they have, which is why I think they might go down. Uh, I mean,
Mm.
Southampton, I really don't know, man. They've got to win the last few games. The manager is fantastic, the new manager. I think he's brilliant. Uh,
Mm.
they got a draw yesterday coming back as well. So I don't know. Bournemouth have picked up a bit of form. They beat Liverpool recently and they were really good, actually. They gave Arsenal a really good game at the Emirates as well. So they've picked up a bit of form. I don't know, man. It's really up for grabs. I really
I
can't put
think
my finger down on who's going to go down.
Yeah, but I think having said that, Harry, I think if Leicester City were to get relegated, I think a lot of players would be choices for a lot of teams. I
I
think
think
they've
the
got a
big one
good
is
summer
James
players.
Madison, isn't it?
James Madison, Tillemans, all these kind of players. I think there
I
will
actually
definitely be a
if,
few
let,
choices.
let's do this, man. I'm sorry, Leicester fans, if we're predicting things, but
Yeah,
let's
sorry,
let's
man.
do this, Ram, very quickly. If Leicester went down,
Yeah.
if you had to pick one player from Leicester for Man United to sign, who would that be?
Well, I think yeah, I'll go with Harvey Barnes.
Oh shit! I was just about to say that I would like Harvey Barnes. I really
Yeah, let's
like
go with Harvey
Harvey.
Barnes.
I
Yeah.
really like Harvey Barnes. So yeah, I
Mm.
mean Harvey Barnes is a great choice. I like Wilfred and Didi as well. By the way, I think he's a really good player in midfield for
Yeah.
them. The defensive
Mm.
midfield, and we could do with the defensive midfielder. So yeah, I mean that could be a good choice. But yep.
Mm.
So those are our choices, guys. Leave us your thoughts on who do you think is going down. We're done for today's show. It's our
Yep.
comeback show. And yeah, it's we're done for today's show to start with. We're going to be back again next week, Saturday,
Yep.
Sunday, either one of those days around the same time. We'll keep you guys informed, but we're going to
Yep.
come back on a consistent basis now to talk about the Premier League, to talk about the football world in general. Uh,
Yep. And you know what? A comeback show. I mean,
and
it's
we want you guys to tune in, drop in your comments, please like the video, guys, like the stream, and yeah, pass the word around as well.
yeah. So what a comeback show it is. My laptop doesn't seem to be allowing me to actually show my show the camera is not working. Can't take the pressure. So it's good. You like that? I got to get it fixed, but I will see you guys again, of course, next week
Yeah, make sure you get
alongside
that fixed before next
Murray.
week, Ram. Makal, I
Yes,
mean, really,
absolutely.
thanks for the comments, Makal. I mean, yeah, I mean, you got a good point. Fourth is between Newcastle or Spurs. But yeah, LFC have much work to do, but not out of it. And yeah, exactly what I'm saying. They've got a lot to do, but they're not out of it as yet. I think Liverpool still have to play Spurs at home as well. And Spurs have to play Newcastle. So the both of them are going to have to drop points. One of them will have to drop points. Liverpool still has to play Spurs at Anfield as well. So yeah, it's up for grabs, that one. And don't rule out Brighton. I'm going to rule out Brentford because I don't think Brentford will have it. But Brighton under De Zerbi are fabulous, and they've got a game in hand on Liverpool, which will take them on top of Liverpool, which means they close on Spurs as well. They're in crazy form. Don't rule out Brighton under De Zerbi for a spot in the Champions League, man. I mean, Ram, let's put it this way. I would want to sign 3 or 4 players from Brighton, man. If I had a choice, I would like to sign Alexis McAllister. I would like to sign Moses Caicedo,
Mm.
and I would definitely want to sign Mitoma.
Yeah, Mitoma
Mitoma is
is
world
brilliant.
class, man. Mitoma
Yeah.
is world class.
That goal he
And
scored against you guys. Was it against you
oh
guys?
my
Or
God, yes, it was against us. He is world class. I would sign Mitoma every day of the week, man. So
yeah.
they've got top class players as well. But anyway, guys, for tuning in. Like I said, we're back again next week. Uh, and yeah, so Ram, do you want to sign off from the Plot Malaysia?
Yes, guys. Once again, thank you very much for being on the show today. It's always our pleasure to actually talk about the football, and we love to hear from you guys. Thank you for your support. Keep that likes coming in. Keep that comments. Share our channel with all your friends, and want to see you more next week. So signing off from the Plot Malaysia. This is the show for the
By
fans.
the fans, Ram. Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
very soon, you're gonna be doing Coke Zero, okay? You will be promoting Coke Zero, because you won't be winning any of the games. So, ciaos, ciaos.
Signing off from the Plot Malaysia, guys. The show for the fans, by the fans. See you next week.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Cheers.